Myanmar is a problem. Myanmar is an old problem. It first became a problem in 1990 when they had the coup. And the military junta, the SL SLOC, they call it, State Law and Order R Commission, took over. And basically, internationally, they went into the doghouse. And ASEAN had to deal with that. And how do you deal with that? Well, we decided that at that time that we would deal with it by engaging them and encouraging them to move towards democracy. It was patient work. It took a very long time. Finally, they held elections was in 2010. So 1990 to 2010 is 20 years of patient work, because it's another country. It's their domestic politics, their domestic tensions and conflicts and difficulties and social conditions. And you can't go and solve it for them. And even if you decided to go and be there and make it happen, you can't make it happen, because if you were there, you would face the same difficulties. And so, happily, 2010, something was worked, elections were held, then Aung San Suu Kyi. They were respectable again, and we did business together as full members of ASEAN. It worked for some time, and after a few years, in 2021, there were new elections, and then the election outcome was not acceptable, and there was a coup, and we now have a problem again. So what do we do with that? This time, we've said, well, you remain a member of ASEAN, but at the political level, really, it's best if you don't participate, because you don't have a government which is recognized by all of the ASEAN countries. If your civil servants want to attend, if officials want to come, that's okay, but not your, really what we would call your military leaders, because we don't recognize them as government leaders. So, therefore, ASEAN has been able to carry on. We meet as ASEAN, always with one empty chair and a Myanmar flag down there. Well, it's a form which has enabled us to continue to do business and to continue to meet our partners, Europeans, the Japanese, the Americans, and not be held back by problems with Myanmar. Meanwhile, we are trying to engage Myanmar, and we've got special, the ministers form special little groups and go and visit the parties in Myanmar. And ASEAN settled on a formulation for its approach to Myanmar, which we call the 5-point consensus. And so there is diplomacy to try and nudge things in Myanmar to go in the right direction. But I think, looking at the history and understanding the nature of the problem, I think we have to be patient. But fortunately, ASEAN is not held back, so that's a matter which is being dealt with. But to put it in context, Myanmar is an issue for ASEAN to manage, but really for the long term, what is important for the region is war and peace, and what can ASEAN do to contribute to peace in the region.